Hola bellezas!
Welcome back! In today's video, we are going to talk about the damage caused by the blow dryer brush, or as I call it, the hair pulling brush on straightened hair. I'll also share my best tips on how to use it correctly to minimize damage. If you already have one at home, if you don't have one, my best advice is don't buy it. I had to dedicate a video to these brushes because many of the beauties following the hair care guide have very damaged hair. And the main cause is the blow dryer brush. My mom, who works in hair salon, also has clients who had beautiful, well-maintained hair. And suddenly, poof, their hair is ruined. Even those with natural hair have lost their curls. And guess what? They also use the hair pulling brush. Let me know in the comments if you use this type of brush, how you feel about it, and if you notice any negative effects on your hair since you started using it. Because often we tend to think that all the negative effects are due to strengthening, but that's not the case. The main damages caused by the blow dryer brush are mechanical damage from the traction generated by brushing the hair rolling and excessively. This causes a lot of breakage and damage to the cuticles, making your hair look frizzy and put off easily. You'll notice more split ends, fractures in your hair, those white dots, and a loss of elasticity and strength. The hair becomes more fragile and doesn't respond well to chemical processes. These damages will be more evident if your hair is strained, bleached, dyed, or fine. On the other hand, thermal damage occurs when the hair comes into contact with the hot air and the blow dryer brush plate that reaches high temperatures. This extreme heat, especially when applied to wet hair, can cause significant damage. You'll start to notice that your hair becomes increasingly dry, dull, and toasted, and it risks burning. It gets to the point where to make your hair look nice, you have to apply a lot of heat, and you end up always using the blow dryer brush at maximum temperature and run it over the same section of hair too many times. It's often though that the hair pulling brush, yes, that's the official name, causes less damage to hair than a flat iron, but personally, I don't think that's true. With the blow dryer brush, you are subjecting your wet hair to high temperatures, tension and pulling, and you pass the brush multiple times over the same strand to achieve the desired straightness, especially if you have afro or curly hair. While the flat iron can also damage hair if used correctly and an appropriate temperature. It strains your hair faster and more effectively. Plus, it can reach new growth if you are straightening, which is something you can't achieve with a blow dryer brush because it's often too big. At least not with all blow dryer brushes because they tend to be very large, and in the end this area here gets inflamed and looks frizzier and not pretty at all. However, when using the flat iron correctly, the damage won't be as severe. Now, I'm not saying that using a flat iron won't damage your hair at all. Not at all. I'm just making a comparison of what I believe can cause more or less damage to strained hair. And in my opinion, the blow dryer brush causes quite a bit of damage. The most common mistakes when using a blow dryer brush are using daily, using it on very wet hair, taking sections of hair that are too thick without dividing them properly, leaving the blow dryer brush on a section of hair for too long, applying too much force when brushing through the hair, applying too little heat protectant, and especially applying globally, meaning you put a small amount in the palm of your hand and spread it out like this. And that's it. Using the maximum temperature all the time and using a dirty brush or one with worn bristles. Let me know in the comments which of these mistakes you make. My tips for using the blow dryer brush without damaging your straightened hair are to keep your treatment routine up to date. Whether you apply a mask at home or follow a hair care schedule. The important thing is to always treat your hair. Remove excess water with a towel, divide your hair into thin sections, and apply a leave-in with heat protectant. Alternatively, use two products, a leave-in that helps to soften and detangle the hair and a heat protectant to protect it. It's important to apply it throughout the strand from root to tip to protect your hair thoroughly. If the brush allows you to dry your hair a bit like a blow dryer, I advise you to use the type of brush that can be disassembled. Make sure to dry it a bit and then start passing the brush through the section at a medium temperature. If the brush you have doesn't disassemble, start by using it on the cool setting. Don't worry, your hair will dry but with less damage. Then gradually increase the temperature, avoiding the maximum setting to prevent the place from getting too hot. If you encounter a knot while using the brush, don't force it through to the ends. Instead of use a brush like this one or a white tooth, come to detangle your hair. Once you've finished drying all your hair and want to go over some areas for a better finish or to shape the ends more, I recommend reapplying some heat protectant, especially on the ends, which are the most prone to damage. Before using the blow dryer brush on these areas, again, protect them doubly. I'm not sure if doubly is the right word, you know what I mean. Additional tips. If you finish styling your hair and the blow dryer brush is full of hair, it means you used too much force and broke a lot of hair. Don't use this brush every day. Use the wrap method or twists to achieve a smoother look without daily heat. If you plan to use a flat iron after the blow dryer brush because it doesn't get your hair straight enough, I recommend drying your hair with just a blower dryer or using a blow dryer with a square wooden brush. You can also use rollers. Then use the flat iron at a lower temperature. You'll notice that you won't need to use the flat iron at 200 degrees or pass it multiple times over the same section. Using both the blow dryer brush and then the flat iron will cause a lot of damage to your hair. The secret to healthy, beautiful, shining, and well-maintained straight hair is consistent care and avoiding excessive heat. Don't be afraid to experiment and find the best way to style your straightened hair, as long as you avoid too much pulling and using very high temperatures. Don't forget to leave me your comments and like. Your interaction supports the channel and motivates me to keep creating useful content. Beauties, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it as always. Send you all a big kisses and see you in the next video. Bye!